good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity John. Dima, come on, music. So recently, Tariq Nasheed did an excellent interview with Adam22's podcast. I thought it was really good on No Jumper. Shout out to Flacco. He's really doing a really great job. I remember him from being here on YouTube, and he's really transitions to what he's doing over there now. So I thought that was really, really great. So shout out to him. And they talked about a myriad of things. One, I'm going to make another video about the Fresh and Fit comment, but I want to talk about Tariq Nasheed's contribution to what is known as now the manosphere. Now, The Art of Macking was released in 1999, and then it became a bestseller. And of course, Tariq Nasheed, that really started his career. And he was very popular on Blog Talk Radio. Then now also, big with the Hidden Color series and things like that. But I'm not going to talk about those things because I want to talk about what is, his perspective on Brother Kevin Samuels and what's happening with black women in the black community and black men. Because Tariq Nasheed, before I seen any of us come out, he was kind of one of the first people to kind of really talk about that as far as the black male sector was concerned, like going to Brazil, traveling and things like that, and dealing with different sorts of women before any of us was talking about it, right? And I'm not saying that was his real main focus point towards black men, but he definitely was touching on certain things in our community that pertained to the issues that black men had and black women had. And I want to kind of talk about a small segment here that was talked about on No Jumper, and then we'll come back and then we'll talk about it.
The closest person to come to the level of what I was doing was our good brother Kevin Samuels, rest in peace to him. Yeah. And he followed me and he read my stuff and he understood my work and he took it to another level because I started focusing more on the racial aspect of relationships because talking about relationships is one thing, but relationships and race, they kind of go hand in hand because you're talking about getting with people and procreating with people, and then that lends into a racial situation. So I wanted to start focusing on race.
Was there anything that was part of Kevin Samuels' platform that you disagreed with? Because you had countless people who were really trying to paint him as, a black woman hater. Right. And then you have the whole other side who was basically saying he was answering a lot of these women's questions. His audience was largely women, and he was really kind of telling a lot of people shit that they needed to hear, right?
No, Kevin was telling a lot of real truth, and he was telling his truth, and that's why people rock with it. Sometimes when you tell the truth, a lot of people want to get offended or pretend to be offended, but they will tune in and listen to the truth because they ultimately respect it. We've been taught in our society that you're supposed to sit here and kiss everybody's ass and you kiss women's asses and you're not supposed to tell them the truth and you're supposed to pander to them. And he just didn't do that. And especially as a black man, we're supposed to just kind of be contained. We're not supposed to wag the finger at anybody except other black men. So when we start pointing the finger at certain relationships in our community, or we start talking about white supremacy, they look at that as us being out of bounds. So that's why I think Kevin got a lot of flack because he pointed the finger at people outside of black male society.
So guys, you heard what he had to say there, right? He talks about the issues that black men have historically had in black America. Not just with black women, but the fact that it's a one-way conversation. And one of the reasons that Kevin Samuels got a lot of hate was because a lot of people just didn't want to know the truth. They didn't know the truth. They didn't want to talk about the truth. So that's the issue that we have here. All right. But now the reality is that how dare you as a black man, believe that you ought to have a voice. You ought to challenge what is the status quo. You're not supposed to be able to say anything. You're supposed to be in servitude to what happens in black America. And let me say this, right? There is a consequence. And I'm glad that Brother Tariq talked about this because I want to talk about Brother J. Ellis. I've been mentioning him in the interracial relationships you've been seeing. But now let's talk about Brother J. Ellis. J. Ellis has never talked about his position on black women. He just went out and married somebody of another race. But now it is completely okay for sisters to come to his Instagram page, say some very mean things, those of them who commented, so much so that he had to shut his page down from comments on that post. He posted the fact that he got married. He's in an interracial relationship, but that's okay. They're able to go ahead and say those things. But now if he responds, he should be canceled. So even if you're not saying anything about sisters that's negative, you're supposed to get with it, deal with it, okay? And whenever you stand up for yourself, you know, they're going to have a problem with it. And then here's what I want to say, guys. If they're going to have a problem with it anyway, who cares? You're better off standing up for yourself. Why? Because they're going to have a reason to be mad any goddamn way. It's what Tariq is saying. People in the black community, you might as well tell them the truth, because if you don't engage them, they still gonna be mad. If you're a black man and you become a millionaire, you become successful, you go out and you marry somebody of a different race, they're gonna still hate you anyway. It's better for them to know why, so at least the community can do a little bit better. And here's the reality, man. Black men gotta stop being, you know, like I said, I know it's gonna be met with some, some strife. But listen, man, you gotta stand up for yourself. Black men gotta start standing up for themselves. Black men gotta start being producers in the economy of Black America. Black men need to get involved. Black men need to get involved in the business sector. Black men need to be involved in every sector more so than they're doing right now. Why? That's the only way you're gonna get some respect. That's the only way. And Kevin Samuels was telling the same thing. You tell our people the truth, they're gonna have an issue with it. If you don't tell them the truth and you go out and live your life, they're gonna have an issue with it. So you might as well stand up for yourself. Black men need to have a voice. I don't care if it's in the platform. I don't care if it's in the political square. If it's in the business community, you have to have a voice, because otherwise you're going to keep getting disrespected. Your sons are going to be disrespected. Your grandsons are going to get disrespected. It needs to stop. We got to stop being little boys in our own communities. All right. Some of us are being looked at as little boys, and you're grown men. You're 50, 60. In certain parts of Black America, you're supposed to shut up. You're supposed to work and give money and be stepdads and basically do everything people tell you to do, but you're not supposed to stand up for yourself. People want you to be a man as far as manpower, but they don't want you to lead. So if they're going to have that attitude, you might as well stand up for yourself any goddamn way, because they don't like you, so fuck it. If they're not going to like you anyway, and you're going to get disrespected, even if you don't start anything, you might as well be a man. And this is the situation that we're talking about here. People don't want to get the hint, but people need to know why Black men are staying away, why Black men are doing X, Y, and Z, doing other stuff. They need to know. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again. Another episode of Celebrity Junker. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. Check out the first clip at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains an all-time high. I'm out.